Hello St Saviour's, Jess Bray here. I had a devotional that I wanted to share with you today. I've been reading this book. It's called Whispers of Rest by Bonnie Gray, and it's actually a devotional that Jen Doherty gave me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and it's really lovely. And the passage that I was reading in today was the story of the road to Emmaus in Luke chapter 24. And if you remember from that story, it comes after Jesus' death, and two of his friends, two of the people that he had known, are walking on this road to Emmaus. It goes like this, chapter 24, verse 13. Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, asked him, "Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" "What things?" he asked. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. And then they go on to tell him everything that's happened, what that's been like for them, how it's made them feel. Then, of course, as they continue along the road, Jesus begins to reveal the scriptures to them. And he starts at the beginning and he works through and tells them all the things that are concerning him, but they don't know that he's Jesus. And as they travel along and they have this journey, they end up going to their place where they're going to rest, and they urge Jesus to come with them and have dinner with them. And so he agrees and he goes in, and as they sit down to eat together, Jesus breaks the bread, and then they realise that it's Jesus. He's revealed to them in that moment. And they say, "Weren't our hearts beating within us when we were walking?" So suddenly, looking back on that journey, they can see how Jesus was with them. They can recognise that feeling that they had of him being with them. But it was only at the point at which they stop that they realise and see Jesus' presence in its entirety. And it got me thinking this morning, and I wondered where I was, and perhaps where you are too, on that journey at the moment. So what's really interesting to me is that even though Jesus was walking with them on that journey, he didn't tell them who he was to begin with. And I wonder if that's because actually their ability to share their story and their ability to share their sorrow with him was really important for them. And Jesus knew that, and he was giving them that opportunity to offload onto a stranger, someone that hadn't heard the story and hadn't heard about how they were feeling. And because Jesus recognised that that was important for them, he just asked questions. He just said, "Why don't you tell me how you're doing?" And I wonder if that's where you are right now. Are you in that difficult moment where you're saying, you know, "God, this is how I'm feeling. This is the things I'm experiencing." And you're in a place where you need to offload some of that to him. And then, of course, he goes on to explain the scriptures to them, and he makes it an opportunity to teach them and to share learning with them. And then I thought, I wonder if this, for some people, might be an opportunity to experience new learning, to have things opened up to us through the opportunity that we've got to listen to God in this season. And then, of course, they go into this house, and in a moment of rest, then he's revealed to them. And I wonder whether there's some of us perhaps who are in that moment of rest where Jesus is going to be revealing himself to you and showing how he's been walking with you on that journey the whole time. And I think wherever you are, or wherever I am in that right now, it's just really reassuring to know that whether we need to offload, whether we're in a place to learn, or whether we're in a moment of rest, that Jesus knows what we need and he wants to meet us in that time.